Welcome, everybody. It's the Charm City Wire Show. I'm Babes here from CharmCityWire.com. Here with Zach and Toby. We're here to talk everything sports. A lot of stuff going on this week. Ravens fall to 1-5. Never thought I'd see the day. Toby, Zach, any takeaways from last week's bitter loss to the 49ers?
The one big takeaway I thought was just all the missed opportunities. Like, dropped interceptions, dropped touchdowns. Everything's just like one play away. And we talked about it last week. That's the difference between a good team and a bad team is like one play here or there. Like Steve Smith drops a touchdown. We end up getting 3 off of it. Actually, he really probably should have caught the second touchdown. Jimmy Smith drops a pick. There were just so many opportunities that could have been there that weren't taken. And that's how you go from a 5-1 team to a 1-5 team. And every one of the Ravens games this season was decided by 6 points or less, and that's one play here or there. And the Ravens could be in a good playoff spot right now. The AFC is not that competitive, but instead they're sitting at 1-5 because they just can't make the one big play they need to make when they need to make it.
I've been preaching these past few weeks, trying to stay positive, trying to spin things, trying to make excuses, play here and play there, and the season's officially over. You can lower the casket. We can start singing Amazing Grace. Team's done. And it's right. We're right in it, but the real good teams find a way to make those interceptions, make those touchdowns. And we don't, and it's disheartening. And it's all over with.
I read a great article this week on Grantland by Bill Bidwell. He talked about comparing and contrasting last year's defense, this year's defense. Last year's defense pressured the quarterback on 25.5% of dropbacks and sacked the quarterback on 7.4%. This year, we're pressuring the quarterback at 26% and sacking at 7.1%. Same levels. Blitzing-wise, okay, we've had the blitz on 35% of pass attempts this year, as opposed to 28%, which does leave us open to big plays, but the most interesting part of his article was that we were bad last year on big plays. Like, there's no difference in the amount of big plays we're giving up last year to the amount of big plays we're giving up this year. Yet, this year, we're giving up 27 points a game as opposed to 18% last year. So what is the difference? And what his article basically said is third downs.
Yeah.
So last year we were giving up 40% completion or conversion percent on third down. This year it's up to 47%. They're just not getting off the field on third down.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not always just the big play that's been beating us. Like the A.J. Green plays and stuff are, but we did have those last year too. But it's the third downs. They just keep the drives moving. The defense just can't get off the field. And it seems like especially after the offense goes down and scores, the defense then can't get off they just allow the points right back. So
and penalties too.
Penalties are ridiculous.
How many times have we seen defensive holding on third down?
Yep.
Prolonging drives.
And it's because they're not good enough. I mean, they just, they'll hold because they're getting beat.
Well, I mean, it's amazing that Sharice Wright can't get on the field for the 49ers pass defense, which we saw firsthand is terrible. We signed him, he has a week of practice, and now he's playing the majority of our snaps. It's just no depth in the secondary. It happened last year, too. And it's the same thing again. Every week it's a practice squad guy. It's a guy off the street. So we don't have any depth back there.
And how do you explain that we drafted Trey Walker in the 4th round, yet he hasn't even gotten a shot? Is he that bad?
Yeah, at least he would know the plays. Like last time, the guys aren't good and there's miscommunication. Like giving up 50-yard passes to Bruce Miller, like plays like that. Like that should never happen. That should never happen in a million years. Like stuff like that happening. Like.
So what is the blame for that? I mean, is it fire Dean Pease time? Is it the players?
I'm so mixed about the fire Dean Pease thing because like we came in last week and I was against it because I think Dean Pease has had success, but I don't know. I can't figure out if it's strictly players, if it's strictly scheme. It can't just be scheme. It's not. Like the players, yeah, they don't know where they're supposed to go half the time. Like you look in the secondary and Kendrick Lewis is just sitting there with his hands up, and but nobody's improved from last year. Jimmy Smith's gotten so much worse. I don't know if it's a result of injury. Ladarius Webb, obviously, since his injuries, has never been the same. I mean, the corners are absolutely terrible. And, like, a coordinator can only do so much. So if the scheme's not there, yeah, it's time
that stat pretty much says that he's doing what he has to do. You know what I mean? He
Right.
goes from 28% blitzing to 35%. Like he's trying to do what he needs to do to get pressure on the quarterback.
And part of it's
Fix
injuries.
his
I mean,
passing
Suggs
game.
not being there is, I mean, it's huge. No matter, people want to make it sound like losing Suggs isn't that big of a deal, but it changes the entire pass rush. People are double teaming Doomerville instead.
Plus, he's playing a lot more snaps.
Right.
He's used to being a part-time player.
Right. So
And then you got McPhee. I think he's leading the league in quarterback hits this season. So that hurts.
yeah, I mean, a lot of it I think is personnel, and them doing their jobs and wanting to do their jobs, and I think we got a lot of people just playing not to be injured, playing for the money, not playing for the win. So I don't necessarily think we need to fire Dean Pease right now. I think you definitely take a hard look at it at the end of the season. Obviously, there's no reason to do it right now. 1-5, you're not turning the thing around if you fire Dean Pease. But, I mean, what do you blame this on? The drafting? Like, why is our defensive personnel so bad right now?
Well, it's a lot of variables. Yeah, bad draft pick, a couple missed draft picks,
A
some
lot.
injuries.
We've had a lot of missed draft picks lately. The last couple of years,
Yeah, that's true.
and missed high draft picks, like Matt
Terrence
Elam.
Cody's of the world. You know.
Right, Sergio Kindle, not Ozzy's fault. Terrence Cody was a second-round pick. You got Matt Elam, hasn't worked out at all in the first round.
Terrence Brooks can't stay on the field.
Jimmy Smith, the first rounder, we thought he was. I thought he was going to be an elite corner this year, and he has been awful. So, the thing that Ozzy's great at is finding talent in the late rounds, like the Pernell McPhees in the 5th rounds, that kind of thing. The Zadarius Smiths, those kind of guys that he can get in the late rounds, but he has missed on some high picks in the last 5-6 years.
I should get back to Pease real quick. Like, I don't think all of a sudden Pease is like turned to can't call defense anymore. Like, we've had success with him in the past, and I appreciate those Babe stats that he's trying to adapt. You know, he's throwing the kitchen sink at him. He's doing whatever he can. So it's not all his fault, but somebody's got to blame. Somebody's got to be the scapegoat. And I want retribution for this 1-5 start. I mean, this is a going trend of last year. Too many points, too many blown leads. Somebody's head's got to roll. And you can't fire all the players. So give me the guy in there who can't. I mean, all these miscommunications. He's got to take some blame for that.
So you think Pease needs to go?
Yeah, I think so. He's had a run. I think too sometimes in the NFL you need some fresh blood after a while. He's been
I
a
agree.
coordinator for a long time. I think he's plateaued. He's on his way out. You need a new guy in there. I mean, you see a lot of the time. A lot of this is guys leaving and Suggs being hurt, but there's no like swagger to this Ravens defense.
No.
There's somebody doing the dance and bopping up and down. It's like this team. I think this team acts like they know they're going to give big plays. Like they know they can't get off the field.
Yeah.
I think we forced the turnovers. Was another big factor in that Barnwell arc. We haven't forced any turnovers this year. We have no playmakers.
4 turnovers and 70 drives.
And that's
We've forced.
that
And
goes
none
back.
since week 3.
That goes back to the missed opportunities I was talking about. Jimmy Smith, the ball hits him right in the lap, and he can't hold on to it. There's another one that, I forget who it was. The guy jumps up, bats the ball down, can't come down with the ball. Somebody on the defensive line, I can't remember who it was. But just stuff like that. Like, it's just, you got to make plays.
So
And
Zach,
nobody's making plays.
you wrote a scintillating piece this week on whether the Ravens should tank the season at this point, sitting at 1-5, play for that high draft pick. Give us your thoughts.
All right, so I wrote it in the blog, and I still stand by it. I had this whole blog written out about how we need to start tanking it. There's no advantage to being 6-10 over 1-15, and there's actually disadvantage because the draft picks, obviously. And I hate when people are like, yeah, but no free agent's going to want to come to a 1-15 team. That's ridiculous. Free agents will go wherever they can get paid. Look at Julius Thomas this offseason. Went from a Super Bowl contender to the Jaguars just to get paid. So that's not a legitimate argument. But
Yeah, but how you sell it to your fans? Who's going to come out and watch this team for the rest of the season?
if you'd let me finish. So I'm sitting here thinking about how the Ravens should just tank it and get the draft picks. And then before I hit publish, it kind of dawned on me that it's just not the Ravens' way. Like, the Ravens are built on pride, they're built on winning, and the thought of a 1-15 season or 2-14 or whatever it's just not the Baltimore Ravens. If we're like the Detroit Lions or the Jaguars who are sitting there with one win, tank it, because then you get the higher draft pick, that kind of thing, because they're doormats and they need that pick. the Ravens have been able to find depth in the draft, and they've been able to sustain a winning atmosphere, and this isn't the culture to tank it. There's too much pride. There's too much that goes into this organization, and I think you play for the 8-8 season, at least you can say Flacco and Harbaugh have never had a losing season, but it's just, I'm just against tanking right now. Out of pure football ethics.
I mean, tanking's for losers, for chumps. We don't do that here. But I don't understand, like, tanking. How are you gonna tank just tell Joe to not play anymore? It's like, how do you tank in football? It's not as easy like basketball. Like
no, but you can do things like rest starters who have a small injury.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And you could just be like, maybe we're not going to go for just do a little dink and dunk. Don't go for the home run. I mean, basically play the way you've been playing and you're tanking it, to be honest.
We're on our way to tanking anyway.
We're tanking it unintentionally.
Changes.
What do you think, Jeff?
I've heard rumors of Steve Smith and Crockett Gilmore on the trade block. What do you think about that?
That would be the most depressing thing ever if we traded Steve Smith. I don't really care about Crockett Gilmore, but trading Steve Smith, I might cry. I love that man. He's only been here for a year and 6 games, and he's like a second father.
I mean, it would be sad, but I mean, if he's retired, this is really his last season, and we can get a draft pick for him, and he can actually go compete somewhere.
You trade your dad for a draft pick? Because I'm not.
I mean, Caesar is not my father. I mean,
he might.
He's not.
I think he's my father.
I don't.
His blood runs through
If he was
me.
Sean Kemp, maybe I would believe it because he fought a lot of illegitimate children. But I don't think Steve Smith is your father.
Antonio Cromartie might be too.
Cromartie might. I don't think he is.
No, Steve Smith's my dad. But I did see an interview of him. He was sitting up there with I think it was Doomerville, and they're asking him if he's gonna reconsider retiring, and he doesn't answer the question. He just kind of keeps beating around the bush, talking about how I'm on to the next week. Pulled the old Bill Belichick, I'm on to next week kind of thing. All I'm thinking about is the Cardinals. He never said he wasn't gonna, or he never specifically went back and said I'm still retiring. So
I mean,
I'm
to me,
holding out hope.
he looks better. He looks as good as he did back in the Carolina Super Bowl days. Like he's
incredible.
Yeah, he is.
I can't believe he played last week. I thought it was going to be a long
Tough as
injury.
nails.
Broken bones.
It is.
Tough as nails, broken ribs, and he shows Ravens pride right there. There's no part of Steve Smith that could even consider tanking this season. That's Steve Smith's the toughest guy ever. He's just try telling that guy to tank the season.
Would you trade Steve Smith, Daves? No, yeah.
Because I don't think you sell tickets. Not the
Way to shake your head on a radio show.
Ravens play on Monday night out in Arizona, our 4th West Coast trip of the season already. 7.5 point dogs on the road to the mighty Cardinals.
I saw it move to 8.5.
It could be 18.5. It's going to be a bloodbath. We're going to get destroyed.
You think so?
Yeah.
I thought the Cardinals would destroy the Steelers this week. It was actually I've never felt more confident on a spread than I did Cardinals over Steelers, and they lost. So I actually think the Ravens keep this close. It's an 8.5 point spread, and I actually really like them to cover it. It's going to be tough. Patrick Peterson and the rest of the Cardinals' defense will be a handful for the Ravens' offense. But I don't think that's going to be the story of the game. I think the story will be how the Ravens' defense can't get off the field and Carson Palmer's just driving all over them. But I think the Cardinals have taken a step back. They now have 3 healthy running backs. I don't think they know exactly who to start or who to play at what time right now. And I think the Ravens keep this game close. I think they lose.
They haven't lost any game by more than 6 points. I mean,
right.
The Cardinals are 3-11 against the spread at home as favorites of 7.5 or more. So
Since when? When did
their last 14.
When did that?
Their last 14.
How long has that been? Are we still talking John Skelton days, or? I mean, that's a very misleading stat.
I dig you guys' positivity, but I think it's just a horrible matchup. I think it's a perfect storm for a blowout for the Ravens.
It
You
could
talking
be.
about how you looked bad last week. I think a team that has a letdown, bad game on the road, coming home Monday Night Football, they'll be fired up, they'll be ready to play, and Cardinals are good at stopping the run, which so if we have to be forced to throw, that's not good for us. Also, I mean our pass defense is terrible, and Palmer's playing like he's in his prime again. He found the fountain of youth. You got Fitzgerald, another guy making big plays. John Brown. I don't think we're going to stop them in the passing. We made Colin Kaepernick and Josh McCown look like all-stars. This is a legitimate good quarterback. What's he going to do to us? A legitimate good quarterback at home.
I think Palmer's playing better now than he has his career. I always thought he was overrated with the Bengals. He had some fire days with the Raiders.
Well, he's always had injuries. He's always had talent. He's always had bad luck with injuries.
Right, and now he's finally healthy, and the Cardinals are definitely looking like one of the more elite teams, but I do think they took a big step back this week. I mean, they lost to Landry Jones / Michael Vick. So
I
know it's on the road.
On the road, that stuff happens.
I know it's on the road, but Ravens didn't lose. Michael Vick.
I don't think the Ravens won against the spread this season. I don't think they've won a game against the number this year. I think they had a push against Pittsburgh.
They pushed against Pittsburgh. I think they've been favored in almost every game except for Denver. Is there another game other than Denver they haven't been favored in?
They were favored in Cincinnati.
They're favored against Cincinnati, against Cleveland, against Pittsburgh.
I just shudder to think about what we're going to against a good quarterback at home.
And not only that, Michael Floyd's back now, so that's 3 prime receivers that you have to cover.
I'm not worried about running backs at all, though. Our run defense is still solid. Our defense has been solid since I was in middle school. I mean, that's one good thing.
Is our running defense that solid, or is our pass defense that terrible?
Our running defense is solid. Okay. Yards per carry has been good. And I'm not worried about Chris Johnson and those. Andre Ellington's one of the most overrated players in football. That guy doesn't do anything.
Yeah, he is. He's one of those guys that like Babes takes in fantasy, like first round every year, and then he just never does anything. I'm pretty sure you took Monte Ball every league last year.
I did not. Although I do have Ronnie Hillman, and everybody's trying to trade for him now.
Hot commodity.
That's what's going to bring me out of the cellar in that league.
All right, so
any worries on Justin Tucker? 2 misses in 2 weeks. We still no miss. I did see that.
Granted, again, if he does make this field goal, we might win that game. It happened again, but I refuse to put anything on Justin Tucker. He kind of fell in a pothole.
I did see that replay. That was terrible.
That was just really strange. So you got to take that one with a grain of salt. But
maybe these misses in a season when we're as bad as we are is pricing him down a little bit back into our range.
That could be nice.
Look on the bright side a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, someone needs to take out his ACL just to get that price down a little more.
Is Nancy Kerrigan situation you're talking about?
I hear Josh Scobie's on the market. Bring him in, give him a try.
So let's talk fantasy this week. Here's your studs and duds this week, Zach.
Studs and duds. The stud this week I have is Todd Gurley of the Rams. They're going up against Cleveland, who in fantasy is somewhere around 26th against the rush. Todd Gurley he's been actually healthy 2 games. He's averaged right around 150 yards each of those games. Hasn't gotten into the end zone yet. I think this week against the Browns, he gets into the end zone and puts up over 100 yards.
And he's very moderately priced on DraftKings. I think he's only like 5,000.
Yep.
He's like the 6th or 7th best or highest salaried running back.
Yep. So I like Todd Gurley a lot. The player who I don't like at all is Julian Edelman of the Patriots. They're going to be going up against the Jets. This is a different Jets team. I think Rex Ryan's not there, so the bad blood's probably not as strong as it has been, but it's still incredibly strong between the Patriots and Jets. I think it'll be a close game. I don't think the Patriots pull ahead. I think it'll be somewhere around 24-20. Patriots win. And I think Revis will keep Edelman very much in check. They know each other from playing together last year in New England. I think it's going to be a long day for Edelman. And to be honest, I think I wouldn't take anyone on the Patriots this week. I think it'll be a strong defensive effort from the Jets. Toby?
I like Christine Michael. Word out of Dallas is that over the bye week he's kind of taking Joseph Randall's job. He's going to associate the Lions share the carries. And they're playing the Giants. I mean, they let Matt Castle throw it? Of course not.
Yeah, but if you can't, you still got to be able to move the chains to get enough.
I'm just saying, it's more about price. He was priced very low. I mean, he's running behind a good offensive line.
Well, part of this is who's bang for your buck value. Daily fantasy.
And I want to say the Giants, they had a good run. I think over the year their numbers look good against the run, but I think the past 2 weeks, I think the Eagles and 49ers both had success against the ground against them. So,
even in season long, what about season long? You play Christine Michael?
I think so. I mean,
there's a lot of teams on bye week, so.
Exactly. It's tougher during byes. It is a little worrisome that, I mean, he was with Seattle, and I think for 2 years they didn't give him like any shots, and I think they trained him for the second round pick.
You had Marshawn Lynch up there.
but still,
It's a
though,
little
I mean,
different.
Seattle,
Marshawn Lynch competing with Joseph.
we're talking about the Ravens finding deep draft studs. Seattle's great at that, finding guys late in the draft and the ball
Yep.
players. So it's a little concerning that they just said, see ya to him. But it's
Seattle
opportunity.
can't
That's the
pay
name of the
everybody.
game. Opportunity's the name of the game. I think he has a good one. And this one's kind of, I don't know if it's a legitimate dud or not, but I saw like Dez Bryant being praised like a top 5 receiver if he plays this week. There's no way
That's
you
insane.
can pay that money on a guy who hasn't come up with a serious injury.
Yeah, he's
His
not going to
first
see all
game.
the snaps,
Yeah.
even if he does play. Yeah, I think week-long fantasy you're still playing Michael. Or not week, I'm sorry, season-long fantasy you're still playing Michael. I think as a flex, unless you have 3 studs out there, I'm definitely putting them in.
Yeah.
Because you're dead.
Good.
Well, Dez was one. Another one. I mean, this could be like he breaks out because they're off a bye and they're playing Washington. But Mike Evans is being priced really high in these things. Like,
Yeah.
like it's 2014 again. He's been
Yeah.
him and Winston haven't been on the same page all this season. So I would probably steer clear of Mike Evans this week.
Any interest in playing Landry Jones this week in
No.
daily?
No, not unless you have literally 0 other options.
No, I'm saying daily. Go really low on quarterback and load up on wide receiver, running back.
No.
The guy I like going I'm actually playing in the league where I have Aaron Rodgers on bye is Blake Bortles.
Oh, I picked up Blake
Blake
Bortles in all
Bortles
my
has been
leagues.
filling it up.
Blake Bortles is fire.
It's always it's a conducive fantasy element because he does have some nice weapons and they're always losing, so he's throwing from behind late.
Right. And actually, those receivers have put up pretty
Yeah.
solid fantasy numbers.
Julius
Allen Robinson,
Thomas is
Allen
back.
Hearns. Julius Thomas is back. He had a touchdown last week. So, Yeldon wasn't healthy last week. I'm not positive he's going to be back this week, but I like Blake Bortles a lot. As a fantasy quarterback, I don't want him running my actual team.
I love, as I said before, Michael Floyd this week. I think he's going to be very low owned in daily. Came back, I think he had 4 catches last week. He scored a touchdown, almost scored a second one. I don't know who's going to cover him. You know what I mean? You figure Larry Fitzgerald and John Brown are probably going to draw Jimmy Smith and Webb if he plays. So, does that leave Kyle Arrington? Does that leave Sharice Wright?
Well,
Michael
Kyle
Floyd
Arrington
again?
will definitely tackle him as soon as he catches
Right.
the ball. Like, Arrington's always there to make the tackle once he allows the play.
Very true. You stole my Todd Gurley.
Did I?
He's my fantasy stud of the week.
Who's your dud?
Dud. I gotta say Steve Smith, and I don't want to just stay on this Ravens-Cardinals game, but
I actually thought about picking Steve Smith, too.
Patrick Peterson, I mean,
Yeah.
that makes sense that he's going to follow him everywhere he goes.
Patrick Peterson, it'll be tough to run the ball up there, so we'll be throwing a lot, and it'll be predictable. So,
One death.
plus,
No.
I mean, he played great last
Massacre.
week, but he's not fully healthy anyway. So,
You talk about drops. The second drop I can give him a pass on. That first drop was, God.
yeah,
man.
that's the thing about Steve Smith is like he's made so many great plays for us, but he's dropped a couple touchdowns this year, and they've hurt us.
Speaking of hurt us, was that the worst interception in Ravens history that Joe Flacco threw last week?
Nah, it was a punt.
That's what it looked like.
I mean-
That was an arm punt.
Jeez.
That was a great play by Joe. Great play by Joe. I'll take the arm punt all day, any day.
The throws off the back foot that he
He-
makes,
yeah, wow.
just
He's
And
doing
you're
that
beat
so
to
much
no
more
end.
this year. I don't know if it's because he doesn't trust his offensive line, but he is just tossing the ball off.
it's
his
not like
back
he didn't
foot.
have time, too. It's not like he was
Yeah.
forced to do that.
I mean, and I think part of it also is there's just nobody getting open, so he just, I mean, not throwing off the back foot, but I mean just like tossing the ball up into coverage. Eventually, you got to throw the ball. I mean, you can't just, if nobody gets open on any plays,
And
you
think about
got to
the
throw it
think
somewhere.
about the situation, too. We were driving. We were on, I think, the 41-yard line. And it was first down. Like, throw the ball away out of bounds. Like, why would you make a throw like that? It just made absolutely no sense.
Punt.
I would
Punt ball.
definitely think the receivers being hurt has to do with it, but I wonder if too some of the like side mechanics from Flacco are coming from like not being comfortable in Trestman's offense, like being a little uneasy. I don't know if Trestman's offense is built to suit Flacco as well. Like it's a great match. for
Okay,
us.
so you want to fire DMPs.
No,
Jeff and I, no, hold on. Jeff and I are kind of on the don't jump ship yet. Now you're getting on Trestman. What do you think
I said
about
Flacco's
Trestman?
look comfortable. I think it's on Flacco because bad fundamentals. I'm saying I feel like there might be a little.
So do you like Trestman, the job he's done so far?
Overall, I like Trestman. I don't know. Sometimes I think he gets a little too pass happy and questions some of the play calls, but overall, we're scoring pretty well points.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like
Points isn't too bad.
we're scoring a lot of points for the offense we have. I mean, we had Steve Smith out one game. Crockett Gilmore, I think, missed 2 games. I mean, we scored 30 points multiple games, so it's kind of working for for as bad as the personnel we have is on offense, scoring points. So I'll give Tressman that.
I don't know about you guys, but I want to see more Jeremy Ross. I want to see more Chris Givens. I'm tired of seeing Marlon Brown just do the same old thing.
I agree with that, 100%.
You don't like the drops?
I don't like the drops.
Well, Marlon Brown is not your guy. Yeah, I'd like to see Chris Givens on the field more too. Stretch the field out. Just run deep. I don't care. I don't care if you catch the ball. Draw pass interference, take the top off the defense, open up the run game a little bit. I'd also, you know who I want to see more involved also is Kyle Juszczyk. I feel like Tressman still has this reputation for tossing the ball to running backs. Look at Matt Forte, his time there, and we haven't gotten, I feel like, enough of that, especially with Juszczyk.
He's got good hands too.
Yeah, he's a stud back there. Like a little Tebow back there playing fullback.
The fact that Tebow's not in the NFL bothers me. Like every day I wake up and I'm like, "Did someone sign Tebow yet?" And I spike my phone against the wall.
All right, skip
And I
playlist.
sulk. I mean, is there 64 better quarterbacks than Tim Tebow on this planet?
No,
Well, there you go. Thank you. Next topic.
I'd take him. Honestly, I'd take him over Matt Schaub. I think Matt Schaub threw a pick
I
six in
wouldn't
like
mind it.
20 straight games.
The guy's a winner.
Tebow, I almost just said all he does is win, and I'm really happy I didn't. No, I'd take Tebow as a backup. I mean, if your starting quarterback goes down, your season's almost over anyway. Not goes down for a long period of time, your season's almost over. I mean, look at the Cowboys. Romo goes down. Brandon Weeden is a joke. I mean, you don't think they'd rather have Tebow right now?
I agree.
Well, I guess not, because they picked up Castle who got cut by the Bills instead of Tebow. It's the circus he brings. And it's not his fault. You're a Tebow guy.
Yeah, I mean, not.
You're
some of it
declaring
is- some of
right
it
now.
is
You're
fault.
declaring.
Definitely a Tebow
Do you
guy.
think you ripped Andy Dalton last week? Is Tebow better than Dalton?
No, I'm not getting crazy. I'm just saying Tebow should be in the league. Like, I'm not saying you should
No, I
start,
agree.
but it's like, come on.
I agree.
You tell me that guy's not better than some of this garbage that gets shouted out every Sunday?
I think Dalton's the MVP.
I'll say this. I mean, the Bengals look great. Dalton looks great. They gotta win a playoff game to make me a believer.
Oh,
They can
I
go
agree.
16-0, and
I agree.
I was still either lose first round of the playoffs.
I
Or,
agree.
And he's a top 3 fantasy quarterback this year too.
Dalton, yeah.
Dalton is.
He's putting up numbers. He's got weapons. Something the Ravens do not have.
Speaking of lack of weapons, Dennis Pitta's back practicing this week. What do you want to see there? Do you want to see him play or?
No, honestly.
not
I
this season.
Yeah, give him another year off, or give him the rest of the year off. If we're sitting there at 3-3, yeah, bring him back as soon as you can. But I'm not risking a man's livelihood for the rest of his life with his hips. Guy's probably gonna be in a wheelchair at age 40 anyway. Right now, we killed a man off.
He's making $7-8 million this
Okay,
year.
what are we bringing him back for? What could we possibly be bringing, other than your fantasy team that you'll probably draft, or you'll probably pick him up on? That's all you care about. That's literally 100% of why you're talking about this.
Not at all.
I'm gonna pick him up
No,
now.
I was burned by Pitt
I'm gonna
last
pick him
year.
up now in our league just so you can't have him. I don't care if it makes me lose a couple games if I have him on the bench. Because I know that's the only reason you care about it.
I mean, if Pitt is healthy and the doctors
not,
say
though.
no, but I'm saying down the line, if doctors are like, yeah, you can play again, and he wants to play.
Yeah, play
I mean,
again.
Yeah,
Bring
sure.
him back next year, or
But-
let him play next year.
Yeah, if it's
But
okay if he wants
there's
to.
no
Where does he
reason
fit
for
in though? I mean, where does he fit in? We have all these young tight ends. We're talking about, are we tanking the season? Are we not? But either way, we got to
Yeah, we
play
have
these
three
young
tight-
guys.
We have 3 tight ends on the roster.
And 3 promising young tight ends.
I don't think any of them are going anywhere. I mean, you got talking about trading Crockett Gilmore. I don't know what value there is for that, to do that, but that is true. I mean, it would be but him and Joe have always had this chemistry.
I almost
I-
put him a wide receiver instead of tight end. At this point, he can't block.
I mean, he's probably
That's
better.
good.
He's probably better than all our wide receivers,
Yeah.
but one at playing wide receiver, and that's not his job. So, yeah, who cares? Throw him out there, let him do some
I'm just
creativity.
like, should he play again? Like, I mean, I'm kind of literally. I mean, this is
Medically,
serious
probably
injury.
not.
Yeah, like I don't even know. Like, if he's healthy, wants to play, I'll open Pitt back, with open arms. He's a good player, I like him.
Right.
But it's like I don't know if it's the best move for him.
No,
Kinda
it's probably
just,
not.
just
He
save
should
that.
probably hang it up, but
Put that money in stocks and bonds, and live out a nice, easy life, and just hang it up football. Maybe I don't know. It seems a little risky to me.
it does. But I mean, it's not his head. Like, yeah, you could be in a wheelchair the rest of your life, I guess. Which, but it's not his head.
Well, Bo
it's not
Jackson-
like he's
Bo
going to be one of
Jackson
those
was
guys
down
that
pretty
can die
good.
if he gets another concussion.
Bo Jackson's quality of life looks pretty good. I think he rips it up on the golf course.
I
Albert Bell. I think Albert Bell's still doing all right.
think he's
That
still collecting
salty-
paychecks from the Orioles.
Jeez. How funny is that that Bobby Bonilla makes more than like 3 or 4 prominent Mets?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think he makes more than like DeGrom.
He's like their third
Harvey.
highest paid player this
It's
year.
unbelievable. How crazy that they're saying that they weren't going to sign Daniel Murphy. It's like now I feel like you have to sign Daniel
That's the
Murphy.
stupidest sign ever, to sign Daniel Murphy just because he hit a home run in 6 straight playoff games. That's the
Why?
dumbest.
He's
That's what
Babe
bad
Ruth.
teams do.
The Mets clinched last night, swept the Cubs 4 straight. I think we all were kind of on the Cubs bandwagon last week.
Had to be.
What's your thoughts?
I love the Mets too, honestly. Like for the 4 games of this series of the NLCS, I kind of made the Mets the villain just because I wanted the Cubs to win so bad. But I really like the Mets a lot as a team. There's nothing not to like about them other than the fact that they're from New York, but they're not Yankee fans, and I mean their pitching staff is unreal to watch. They're awesome. I would be more than happy if the Mets won the World Series.
I mean, they're sweep. Like we got swept last year by the Royals. The games were tight. That was a dominant sweep by the Mets. And I don't think the Cubs going to lead the whole series. I don't think they did.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Arrieta wasn't what he has
They
been.
had a rough start. Hamill got shelled last night.
Why,
Yeah,
don't-
for real.
why would you not pitch Lester in that game?
Yeah.
You're down
I-
3-0.
I don't know what he was on days rest. I mean, I'm sure he was going to
It was-
pitch
it was
5.
3.
Was it 3?
He
was
would've-
only 5,
Either
6.
way, Lester's only going to pitch 2 games that series, and although they could have brought him in for 7 if they pitch him in 4, it would be 3 days rest back to back. But you got to do it, all or nothing. I mean, Lester's not Arrieta, he's not DeGrom, but he's better than Hamill.
I mean, I don't think Rick Vaughn himself could have got Daniel Murphy. Guy's locked in.
4 for 5 last night.
7 home runs for the postseason.
He had
6
529
in a
for
row.
the series.
It's just not. Baseball's such a funny game. Like, how could you?
It's
ever
like every
still
year.
lose
Remember,
a
like the
game?
David Freese year.
Yeah.
There's like every time. I feel like every year there's one guy who just catches fire and
I
just
mean,
carries.
when year
the
was
team.
it? David Eckstein was World Series MVP. Even Dempsey's old homer nonsense bum. I want to say profanities, but I can't. So I don't want to call Rick Dempsey now. I'm struggling for words.
Talking about
His
Dempsey like
goofball.
that.
But no. So yeah, you would pay Daniel Murphy as when he hits free agency as a Met.
I'd pay him, but I'm not going to pay him what he's now going to get paid for hitting 6 homers in a game. That's not going to give me success over a 4-year period. Like they were talking about maybe like a 3-year, $11 million a year ish to like a 4-year, $15 million a year ish. That's insane because he hit 6 home runs in 6 games. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That's what bad franchises do.
I don't know.
That's what terrible franchises do. And it'll be on the Orioles because that'll be what is going to happen.
If they win the World Series, it's like he should get a lifetime contract. I mean, come
Well,
on.
Bonilla already did.
I mean, is it a fluke or does he have ice water in his veins? Maybe he's just a big game player. Maybe he's just Robert Ory.
Maybe he's just a big game player, but you got to have people around him to get him to the big game because that guy's not carrying your season.
No, it'll be interesting to see what he gets because I mean, this is just an unbelievable run. I mean, he's an all-time great postseason. There's great bargaining power. Him and Chris Davis really know how to maximize that free agency haul.
Okay, on Chris Davis. So we're thinking Chris Davis will probably get around $30 million a year, is what I would guess. Zach Greinke,
Really? $30 million?
I think so.
I was
think
gonna say
someone's
like
gonna pay him 30.
2025.
No. Chris
Contracts are getting crazy. It's hard to predict baseball contracts.
Chris Davis is at least
Money
at
now.
$28 million.
I mean, is that what Miguel Cabrera makes? Like $30 million?
I'm not
He's
sure
nowhere
exactly.
near. Cabrera as overall.
It's more
hitter.
home runs than him.
That's not.
Yeah, but that's what people pay for. I'm not saying he deserves it. I don't know if I'd be willing to pay him $30 million a year, unless I'm the Yankees and have an unlimited spending budget. But yeah, I think Davis is getting close to $30 million a year, if not $30 million.
I don't think not just because his 2014 was so bad. I think some teams like if you're paying $30 million a year, it's like you need that guarantee. Like you know, what I mean, you want a lock. You want a Cabrera, a lock hitter who's going to deliver. I think that he should make
Davis
consistently.
has more home runs than anyone in baseball since 2012.
I'm just saying, I think consistency's gonna. I mean, he'll still make 25, not like 30. You know what I mean? It's going to bump him a little bit.
Chris
And you're
Davis
talking about
is
like
$30
close to like
million
the
a year.
biggest contracts in like baseball history. Because I just think it's going to be that big.
They get bigger every year. Why not? Every single year,
Would you say he's a top 10 hitter? I wouldn't even put him in the top 10. as far
top
as
10 overall hitter, no. I wouldn't. He's a home run guy. He strikes out a lot. But that's what...
I always hear like
You think the
comparable-
Mets aren't going to... You think a team like the Mets, if they don't really have the roster spot with
Well, they don't have
Duda
any
there
money
at
either with Wilpon, with the whole Bernie Madoff thing. Took all their money, so they won't sign him.
first. But there are a number of teams that will throw the house at Chris Davis just because of home runs. But to be honest with you, there's talk about Zach Greinke will probably opt out of his contract.
He already did.
Oh, did he? Oh, okay. So Honestly, I'm paying Greinke over Chris Davis. I think they'll get around the same thing. I think they're both $30 million a year players, and I'm paying Zach Greinke or David Price. I don't care.
There's no way we sign a big pitcher. You don't sign pitchers like that.
We don't, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if we're gonna dish out 150 mils to a player, I'm giving it to Greinke or Price. I'm giving it to one of those two guys, not Chris Davis. I love Chris Davis. He might be another father of mine. I don't know, but I'm paying Greinke.
I can see the argument for pitching. It's weird. It's every fifth day, but I mean the main difference was pitching last year. I can understand that. Going after pitching.
Our
instead of
pitchers are
hitting.
terrible. Look, I
They're
mean,
bad.
look, one big pitcher changes your entire rotation. So we're gonna sit. It'll probably be. I mean, Chen will be out. So
You didn't see me sign Vance Worley though. We already got that big pitcher.
yeah,
We already locked it up.
stud. That's such a Dan Duquette move. I hate it. So
I don't mind it
much.
though. Like that guy
I
could.
hate
He's
it
like
so
he
much.
could be like a better version of like Jason Garcia or like McFarland. He'd be like a long man out of the bullpen for us. I think he'll be all right. He had decent numbers.
Yeah, but it's just such a Dan Duquette move.
But-
It drives me crazy.
But you can't even sign free agents yet. It's like not like it was like that was the big move of the offseason.
Putting $100 right now that'll be like he'll be on the opening like cover of the Orioles 2016 magazine because he's gonna be our one big
See,
acquisition.
you're missing. See, that's just Dan being vigilant. You know, all these other managers probably sitting
Dan's
down in the
a
dumps.
chump.
Oh, I'm not in the World Series. Oh, boo. Dan's out there sifting through, finding value.
Dan's a,
That's what he's doing. He's
Dan
looking
is
at market
a chump.
inefficiencies. He's crunching numbers. He's got scouts.
Dan
Dan doesn't sleep
Dan can leave.
because money doesn't sleep and Dan doesn't sleep.
Dan can leave. I'm over Dan Duquette. I've been over him for a long time now. He can go to Toronto, do what he wants up there. How happy is Toronto that they didn't get Dan Duquette though? Honestly,
So that's
because you
going-
know he wasn't bringing in Tulowitzki, David Price.
I mean, the man did sign Pedro Martinez twice. The guy's got some tricks up his sleeve.
Also, his big acquisition this year was Travis Snyder, so I'm not going to give him too much glory.
Does Toronto have any chance taking 2 in Kansas City?
Well, we're filming this on a Thursday, and it's not airing till Saturday, so odds are pretty good that Kansas City already clinched it.
Oh, we got
Podcast,
this. We got-
Babes. Podcast is coming
Oh,
up
you're
right
right.
after this.
I would say no. I mean, they're both in Kansas City. I don't think the Blues have any shot. You?
No, it's over.
Who's pitching? I don't even know who's pitching Game 6. Did they use Price in relief again or no? I saw
Nah,
that.
they warmed
didn't
him
use
up.
him?
They
Okay.
warmed him up, but they didn't bring him in.
Did you guys see Bautista last night when he hits the ball? He hit that double off the wall, dropped his head like he's going in his home run trot. About 3/4 of the way down first base, he looks up and the ball hit off the wall and he had a high tail.
It makes me happy. Anytime
yeah,
a player
that's-
does that makes me happy, even if it's somebody I like.
God, I hate
Just
it.
because
That's
it's just so funny when a player thinks
You're
that
down
so
3
much.
games to 1.
The best was Sammy Sosa doing his starting. One time he starts his crow hop and then he just realizes it's off the wall. Puig did that a couple years ago too.
Has anyone seen? Is Sosa okay? Have you seen him all? Because remember his face was like
Sosa's-
ghostly white.
Sosa's
Remember
a
that?
scary
I don't
looking
think I've
man
seen
right
him
now.
since that.
No,
He's like
I think
Casper or
I think
something.
he's coming back to reality. I think he's getting more normal again.
Good.
I saw a little more pigment in his skin. He was rough looking. for a
So
while.
we're thinking, if it's Royals Mets, you think who you like in that series? You to win the World Series?
Mets.
Mets.
They're starting pitching.
I
Mets are
agree.
the best starting pitching in it.
That's what it comes. Yeah, that's what it comes down to. And it's been surprising how bad Cueto's been for the Royals. He's been a disappointment.
He did have the one big game in the division series.
I think he had one.
Pitched to Jan.
He had one game. Isn't he? I think he's got knocked around once or twice and pitched one good game. But his regular season ERA was like 4.5.
His regular season ERA was bad for them, but honestly, he pitches Game 5 in the ALDS and takes him to the ALCS, and if he doesn't throw that gem there, they might not advance, and then who knows what could have happened if they didn't make that trade, because that one game might have been enough for that trade to be worth it.
Yeah. I still like know what scares me that Royals rotation really. You know what I mean? Like
Oh no, the Royals pitching is not scary at all.
Yeah, compared to the Mets.
I'd love to face the Royals rotation.
I mean, call me crazy, but maybe like Jimmy Guthrie get the ball game 1. Set the tone for him. You know?
I mean, he beat us
J-Bone!
last year in
Wow,
the
wow.
LCS.
That was funny. Now it's not funny anymore. That joke's not funny. That was bad.
All right, let's take our last break. This is the Trump City Wire Show. All right, you want to do Louisville?
Yeah, that was
Bullshit on that. For
that
him.
was weird about the. I don't even know what to talk
Because they're
about.
putting it up right after
I
this.
know.
That's what he
I
said.
didn't even think about that. All right, so we do. You want to go around
Should we talk about the Terps maybe?
Terps basketball?
Yeah, when we transition into that from
Louisville
there.
Terps.
All right, so you should.
Sure, we got like 12 minutes left. We got the locks too.
Oh yeah, that's right. NFL. That'll be our last segment.
Let's do a quick thing on Louisville, quick thing on Terps, and then
Michigan or no?
probably on time.
Yeah, that's probably that was like a week ago.
Yeah. All right, we're back here at the Trump City Wire show. I'm Babes. I'm here with Zach and Toby. TrumpCityWire.com. Biggest story of the week. Outside the Lines had a big story on Louisville. Apparently, they're enticing their recruits by having strippers who turn into prostitutes. Zach, Tobe, what's your thought on this?
I love it. It's tough recruiting landscape out there. You gotta do what you can to set yourself apart. Gotta get them wins. But no, I love how Patino acts like he didn't know what was going on. I don't believe that for a second. Like, that guy's one of the best coaches around. He knows every detail of his program. The fact like he doesn't know what's going on is laughable to me.
Yeah, Patino. I mean, I think Patino has got to go. To be honest, like, unless they can prove, well, I guess they'll have to find proof he knew what was going on. But I find it so hard to believe that that's not going to come out eventually. And if they find any amount of evidence that he knew or even had some slight clue this was going on, it's got to go. And it's going to be a tough fire because the guy's won national championship.
And he's the highest paid coach in the nation. So you're the AD of Louisville. Do you fire him this week?
I waited out to see how the investigation is. But the college basketball season's coming up. So you got to figure that out.
I think they're really hoping they can plan it on that guy. Was it McGee, like the grad
Yeah.
assistant?
Oh yeah, they're
trying
definitely.
to plan it. I think they're trying to make him the scapegoat. Because
Louisville doesn't want to fire Patino.
Oh yeah,
obviously.
especially with Kentucky, with Calipari winning all these titles. That's the big rivalry. They don't want to get shown up by Kentucky. They want Patino to pass through the scandal unscathed for sure.
Bottom line is, Babes, do you go to this school? I mean, if that's your recruit, I mean, I know you're there.
Every school in the
Every school
country
does
is
that.
using girls in somehow, some avenue to entice their recruits. Whether it's a beautiful girl waiting for you when you get off the bus to show you around, sex sells.
Definitely. And you've seen He Got Game. You know how it goes. That happens
I have
everywhere.
not seen that.
You need that. That's the point of viewing.
It's worth a watch.
It's a good one. Jesus Shuttleworth. It's a good one.
So,
Well, how about the people, though? Are you sure this is 100% true, though? I mean, taking the word of these unsavory characters,
Right. Remind me to keep a journal of all my all my miscomings when it comes out 5 years later when I'm suing Zach when he.
Like, outside the
I don't
line.
know how
When
that-
I-
I don't know how
when
that-
I
I don't know how
provided
that's
you
a-
with
I don't know how that's a
prostitutes?
credible source. Is what I'm trying to say. This woman keeps a journal. All of a sudden, it's taken as.
Yeah. And the lady who's like the head escort, she said two of her own daughters apparently had sex with players. It's like, you're pimping out your own daughters, like,
you just got.
everything you say is like.
You got to
I don't
be a
think
good
you
mom.
believe that
You got to be a good mom. Do what you can to feed the family. Since we're on college basketball, how about the Terps being ranked? They were number one, and they are number one in the ESPN preseason polls, but it came out USA Today had them at 3,
Yeah,
which
I'm
I
curious.
think is a dagger. You want that number one next to your name.
And then Trimble's named preseason Big Ten Player of the
Preseason
Year.
Big Ten Player of the Year this week. I mean, I don't see another player who would deserve it over him.
I agree.
You look around the Big Ten, the studs from last year are gone. Kaminsky's gone. D'Angelo Russell's gone. Eric Decker's gone.
It's exciting. I'm curious to see like how we're gonna handle the expectations. And this is
I have a
15 years.
really bad feeling we're going to be Sweet 16 and done. Which,
I
honestly, that sounds great, like 2 years ago, but it's Final Four or bust this year. You don't come in ranked number 1.
I don't know.
Final Four or bust.
We haven't been in the Final Four since the championship year.
Final Four or bust. We also
Turner's
have
been in, I think, the Sweet 16 his whole career. A lot of young players.
well, none of the players obviously have either. Well, Suleiman.
Do you think he's using strippers to entice these players to come?
I think Gary Williams did.
I think just let them pet his gray spot on his hair. They really like it. They really are into that. really entices them.
If we could have Gary Williams and Mark Turgeon be like the dynamic duo, like Turgeon recruits, Gary coaches them up, how incredible would our team be?
Oh,
Not knocking Turgeon's coaching skills, but
I'll knock him.
Go
I
ahead.
don't know. I don't like. He never fouls. It's always makes me nervous. Remember, we're up 3 at the end of the game. He never fouls. He refuses to do that, which I don't know why he doesn't do that. He did in the tournament. I just feel like sometimes just
I'll take the number 1 center recruit in the nation for a guy who doesn't foul with 3 points.
stuff like that. I feel like we should press more. I feel we don't press enough. Stuff like that. A lot
I
of
feel
times
like our
question
players were a little out of
substitution
shape last year
patterns. Yeah.
to press.
There's like question like his lineups at crunch time and who he plays.
A bunch of
and
our
who
guys
doesn't,
have put
stuff
on
like
weight
that.
too. I hear. Lehman's put on some good weight. Savatsky's put on some weight.
Are you a believer in Lehman?
Yeah,
See, I'm not a Lehman guy.
I'm a believer in Lehman.
He really faded down like the second half of the season.
They're playing him at the power forward spot. He's not a power forward.
I got like
I don't even know what to call him. Evan Smotrich.
Smoke.
We had him running the center. It was a joke. Every time that guy touched the ball.
I would like to see more like Suleiman and like Nickens in the wing than Lehman. I feel like this year.
Well,
know.
Suleiman and Lehman will be out there together.
Yeah. What do you think the
Nickens.
starting five will be?
Be Trimble, Suleiman, Lehman, Carter, and actually, from what I've heard, Diamond Stone might not be starting the year off as a starter.
I heard that too. His
Yeah.
defense is a little black, and then we go Dodd.
I heard he has a little attitude problem.
Really?
Yeah.
I would too. That guy's stud. That guy's literally a stud.
I mean-
Diamond stud hearing out. You need to bang. A lot of DDP taunts after huge dunks this year.
I mean, I think we have 5 guys who get taken in the first round this year in the NBA draft.
Really?
Yeah.
I
I really do.
I don't know. About
I really
that.
do. Who
Jeez.
isn't? Who isn't going to be?
Lehman shouldn't be a first round pick.
The NBA though, after the top 5 to 10, there are a bunch of chumps.
When everybody says it's all about potential too. Everyone sees like the Chandler Parsons. You always see that comparison to him to the size.
Yeah, NBA draft's all about potential. I mean, look at Alex Len. He was not ready to come out. Now he's having a nice
He's not
career with the Phoenix Suns.
Well, you never know.
It's all potential.
Trimble might not even be that great of a pro, even though he's our best player. Because he doesn't
Right.
have that like ideal like size to play point guard.
There's a chance Lehman could get drafted before Trimble, I think. Lehman's got the size, the athleticism.
Yeah.
All right, we gotta switch gears before we ended up NFL locks. Where are we at this week?
Want to take this one,
I
Toby?
think I got I think the Jets are getting 9. I New England like the Jets. I mean, God knows no one can shut down New England's offense. I think the Jets will get a defense and slow them down a bit. Chris Ivory's been killing it lately. I think they can just control the clock. Keep Peyton up. I mean, not Peyton. Keep Brady off the field. That's the best defense for him. Keep him on the sidelines. I think they'll lose, but I think it's a one-score game. I think the Jets will hang in there.
Tom Brady is 12-23 against the spread as a favorite of 9 points or
I love
more.
it. I love it when my gut meets
Since
the
November of
knowledge.
07. Zach.
7? Okay.
See, when my
Glad you
gut
got
matches the
that back
Vegas stats, it's a great feeling. So I
Got
like
it.
that.
Okay.
I want to say, I think I saw this. I want to say, now this isn't positive, but I read that the Jets have covered in 10 of their last 11 in New England in October. 10 of 11 in New England in October. Which is a good.
Different coach, different quarterback. It's not the same team. For the record, the Jets are one of my locks too, so I'm not going to argue on that. But that's so dumb. These are the stupidest stats you guys throw out.
And,
It's gut feeling, baby.
I like the Raiders. They're good 4 at San Diego. San Diego has one of the worst home field advantages in the league. That dilapidated stadium of theirs. Half the crowd would be Raiders fans anyway. Raiders are coming off a bye. I think both teams would score a lot. I think it's going to be a shootout. I'd see Oakland winning it outright. Has like a field goal either way type feel to it. So give me the Raiders and the points.
You got one more or just doing 2?
I think we're just doing 2 usually.
I got 4. So,
4? Well,
so I'll take one of yours.
I will say this: my picks for the last 4 weeks are 12-3, 9-3. So that's pretty gaudy. I don't know. 9-3 is pretty gaudy. I don't
It's
know.
impressive.
Better than mine.
I'm heating
Better
up.
than mine.
I think Seabass is in the leader though. Our colleague, esteemed colleague Seabass, who is with us, he's leading on the picks this year, but I'm at his heels.
All right, so my locks. I also took the Jets. Last I saw, they were plus 8.5. I think this is, as I said earlier, I think it's a 4-point game. Definitely no more than a touchdown. I think the Jets not easily, but I think the Jets for sure cover this game. I hate picking the Ravens, but I'm taking them. That's all. I'm not trying not to be a pick with heart, but I think I think the Cardinals win by about a touchdown. Right now they're getting 8.5. I also like the Colts -4 over the Saints. I think the Saints are extremely overrated, even though a lot of people have jumped ship, like myself. But there's still people out there who think they're the great Saints of like '09, and they're not. So I think the Colts steamroll them actually.
Andrew Luck 13-3 against the spread,
God.
coming off a loss.
There you go.
We are the guys from CharmCityWire.com.